Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen Monthly Report looking at what the studios have worked on in January and what they're working on in February. CIG Los Angeles, the art team there have completed their work on the Anvil Terrapin and Tumbril Cyclone, and now that's moved on to the tech design team who are implementing the tech setup for it. The Mustang update is in Greybox, the Hurricane is close to finishing its Greybox art stage, and then it will move on to its tech setup stage. The Anvil Terrapin and Misk Razor are moving on to their flight prep passes as well. They've been working on making improvements to game performance by optimizing vehicles and vehicle gameplay, and they've now converted EMPs and gimbals to the Item System 2.0, as well as generally optimized various things with Item System 2.0 and update timers for better game performance. Characters have had work with various legacy armors and updates for the Marine and Outlaw variants, as well as working through Squadron 42's enemy armor with the OMC and Shipjackers, and even Navy armor types have been worked on. They've also been working on Hurston and Olisar clothing collections that are going to be debuting later in fall or autumn, whatever you want to call it. They have also focused on character customization and the ability to select different heads, hair, eyes, setting up customization features to be selectable off a grid, and then adding interaction highlights to the player character models. Tech content have continued to crank out improvements to tools, skin character costumes, and provide support on the weapon and ship pipelines. They've also worked on tools for the procedural team, such as the procedural city editor and procedural layout system. They continued to work on the LiveLink tool, character tools, Max and Maya 2018 upgrades, a skinning GUI, a CGA checker, CIG tools installers, skeleton alias health checks, and a motion builder version of the asset browser. I don't actually know what all of those tools are, but I will help define them later on in a different video. Skinning continued on the new Vandal head. Ship landing gear such as the Saber Raven and Aegis Reclaimer were done. Weapons and character costumes for Hurston and Levski were also done too. On the mocap side, tracking and solving has continued through the vast amount of player data. CIG Austin, so design there identified a few fixes that were needed for 3.0.1's patch, and they fixed a few things that fell off the 3.0 table and were either needing a bit more polish or were going to be fixed in 3.0.1 and 3.1. They will soon begin work on the service beacon system, economy updates, and the mission givers. With the service beacons, the aim is to have escort, refueling, and repair live in patch 3.2. Once service beacons are implemented, players will be able to request assistance from other players in their system and eventually NPCs. When contracts are accepted, both the player will need to hold up their end of the bargain or risk getting a reputation hit. Once the contract terms are filled, payment and reputation gains or losses will automatically be paid out. They are working to fix economy-related bugs now that 3.0 has provided a first iteration of dynamic pricing, including the identification and fixing of system exploits. There were some properties hard-coded into the back-end services that the team has exposed to design, enabling them to better predict and tune the economy experience for the future. They have also fixed some bugs with their analytic reporting systems, allowing better data on player transactions, wallet statuses, deaths, missions completed, and more that are going to enable them to better balance the game and items in the game, along with ship health and player health, improving the overall gameplay experience. The Constellation Phoenix went into Greybox phase, its high poly modelling stage of that, with the exterior and interior being fleshed out, the geo being redefined, tweaks being made to the lighting, and incorporating features like fish tanks, a hot tub, wall screens, and a bar area. The Anvil F8 Lightning has made it through the white box phase, with design ready to take over and start implementing it into the game. Back-end services have been working on the refactor of the diffusion services. The new architecture implements various patterns that allow the services to be easily scaled, reliable, and available. All the current services will be placed with pools of workers and backing services that will provide short-term data caching. The GIM, or General Instance Manager, has been broken up into multiple services, such as Instance Manager, Matchmaking Service, Lobby Service, and the Entitlement Processor. The current Persistent Service was also separated into the Item Cache, Account Cache, Player Variables Cache, and now has external memory caches, queues, and workers. This will help distribute the load when moving player data through the systems. There is now a lot of redundancy here as well, helping prevent disruption collection of gameplay services. Animation worked on the Misk Razor, the Aegis Reclaimer, the Anvil Terrapin, and the Tumbril Cyclone. The Aegis Reclaimer is a very sophisticated ship when it comes to its landing and VTOL system, and that requires unique rigging and technical setup there. They are planning some major updates for the cockpit experience across all ship types. They've also finished their initial work on supporting the current usables in-game for the Persistent Universe. All usable assets related to Squadron 42 have been packaged up and handed off to the UK animations team to finish off. The Austin team is now focused on mission givers and the NPC secondary sub-activity SSA characters. The NPC SSA character is simply an NPC that you can approach and interact with, such as bartenders, shopkeepers, and their ilk. Operations spent the month collecting stats from 3.0 live play sessions to help the performance teams with optimization. They're also expanding the capacity of the central build system to allow for more work in progress streams, which will help the various dev teams in their march towards quarterly releases. Foundry 42 UK engineering there have been making lots of small improvements and optimizations. Part of that is moving code over from old update functions, which run from the main thread, to batch thread updating models that allow them to use all threads. Another improvement they've made was reducing the work the animation system does by finding all the areas where a character's skeleton is updated unnecessarily. They've made progress on object container streaming there too, which allows for the large areas of the game like a planet or space station to load in the background as the player approaches it. This will help performance, decrease load times, and reduce the amount of memory required to run the game. They've also been doing a pass on the usables, and especially how they get set up by the designer, artists, animators, devs. After implementing a large number of them, they've targeted several areas where the implementation can be improved and easier to debug when things go wrong. This will also make them more modular, and they can take some of the functionality outside of the usable tech to use in other areas of the game as well. The graphics team have been working on issues that were revealed with the release of 3.0 and the work they did on the vertical slice. Many of these fixes related to the render-to-texture system, which is heavily used for UIs. These fixes should improve the resolution and anti-aliasing. The other major push was to improve render profiling and video memory tools to assist the art and graphics teams to help optimize the game. They also did some optimization work and made a big improvement to the depth pass algorithm. In parallel with those UI fixes and optimizations, the team there have also been doing R&D on various new shaders, which is about to start full production in February. These new shaders will help unify and simplify the art workflow across various teams, allowing more dynamic shaders that can correctly react to different environmental conditions, whether it be dirt, sand, mud, or more, and then apply wear and tear consistently between asset types with convincing visuals. These shaders will also enable several new features for the art team that should result in more interesting visuals on large, man-made structures and more physically based blending of many materials on natural or organic assets. With the UI, the MFD/visor displays are a feature that needs additional work still to bring them up to the quality level that the game strives for. The UI visual team has been set up to work closely with the graphics team in order to polish this feature for 3.1. The team is also heavily focused on getting the Personal Manager app and the Vehicle Manager apps up to snuff, adding some new functionality, features, and polish too. Ships continue to make progress with the Reclaimer, Razor, as well as the Hammerhead, the Blade, the Avenger rework, and the 600i all plodded on. The Terrapin is having its work done on its effects for thrusters, damage, and its death mask that's going to be using some new debris assets. On the weapons front, the Gemini R97 ballistic shotgun had its VFX first pass, including muzzle, tracer, and impact effects. The environments team there continued to develop the utilitarian hanger common elements now that they've established a robust set of metrics that will work in many different locations. The hangers went to the concept team for visual refinement. The shape, language, and scale reads have matured significantly from the initial kickoff concepts, which means that the hangers are working as enormous, functional, and impressive structures much better than expected. The next stage is Grey Box, where they're going to continue to dial in details, materials, and lighting reads. They've made significant leaps with the procedural layout tool functionality too. The tool has matured to where it's being used by the whole team to generate many varied and interesting rest stop interior layouts. It's providing a tailored randomness that allows them to both direct a layout's flow from an art and design perspective, but also introduce enough unpredictability that layouts can truly be varied and different every time. As the team works to build more of the assets needed, the potential variety in layouts only gets more and more diverse. The Derby Animation Studio continued to work on some of the scenes that are critical to Squadron 42's story as well. Turbulent, the new website was launched, updating info and kind of making it accurate, kind of more targeted towards new players though now, the new Star Citizen website. The roadmap, however, went live on there as well, and it's tied into their internal Jira schedules, so it's going to be updated with the latest information on features and exactly where they're going to fall within releases, which is very good information for all of us. Spectrum continues to receive updates. The feature work on custom roles is now complete and should make it into the next Spectrum release. Custom emojis are almost complete as well. This is going to allow you to upload your own custom emote sheets, giving you and your org the capability to communicate in your own unique way. They also are working on a block/ignore feature as well. I have omitted the Foundry 42 Frankfurt studio report, as it was covered in a video I did the other day. Links below to that one, as it does have some quite good visuals. Every month we have a giveaway. For February, it's for the luxury 890 jump, donated by our featured org, Synchronizers. They are an org that plan to encompass all types of gameplay from Star Citizen, all of that has to offer. That said, they do oppose piracy and seek members to add to their mature family of both casual and more hardcore players alike, but there's no real other restrictions on membership other than that. Links below if you're interested in checking them out. They have an active Discord now and are active in Star Citizen as well. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that 890 jump though is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during the month. Do you have any questions about Squadron 42 or Star Citizen's development, or any gameplay mechanics, or any ideas for videos? Chuck them in the comments below. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them as well, you can also find the links down there too. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.